Welcome back to the Athlete Artist Show, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, our athlete host is not here, but he's currently somewhere in the world, Germany, maybe he's in Canada in quarantine, who knows. But today, for the second week in a row, we have an artist guest, and for the first time ever, our first female guest on the show. So making history. She's a singer, songwriter, actress. Her newest single, Sad Girl Heaven, is out now on all streaming platforms. Elle Winter, how are you?
I'm so good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored I'm the first female guest.
I'm honored you are the first female guest as well. It's exciting. We were kind of talking about this before the show started recording. I discovered your music when I was like 16 years old, so like 10 years ago now. Back when the YouTube artist kind of community was going strong with Sam Sweet, Kurt Hugo Schneider, Megan Liz, Tiffany Alvord, Megan Nicole.
Oh my God, all these names bring back so many
right?
memories.
Right.
Yeah.
Now they're all like married. I'm like, what happened?
You know, right? It's like, where does the time go? Like, I feel like that was yesterday, and like I was 13, and now I'm 22. I'm like, that can't be right.
All my childhood crushes are like now married. I'm like,
no, that is wild.
But yeah, the first video I think I discovered you in was the Good Time cover by Carly Rae Jepsen, and you were with Sam Sweet. So how did you get linked up with Sam, and how did your whole because you did a couple covers with Sam.
Yeah, so Sam and I ended up becoming very close because my musical director, who I credit for my whole career and getting me started, I met him when I was 9, and
oh wow.
He's a pianist in the city and has all these different bands. And for my sister's birthday party, my sister's 4 years older than me. She was turning 13. Okay. She had a band come. And so he was the band leader. And he was you should sing for your sister's party. So I started working with him to work on this song for my sister's party. And then we just started writing music together. He took me to recording studios, and he really became my music dad. And his son is married to Sam right now, which is, Casey, have you watched any of Sam's recent videos?
No, I've been super out of touch with the old school YouTube community. I just looked him up before, yesterday when we agreed to have you on, and I was like, damn, this guy's still been going hard for the last 10 years. No,
he's amazing. He's touring all over the world. He's incredible. So that's how I was connected with him, and we became, really, really close just because, he was so close with the person who, taught me everything I know musically. So we started doing these covers together, and just, we performed together, and I still love him. I'm going to see him now that I've moved to LA. He's just such a talented person. And that cover, I think about that cover all the time. I want to find that park we went to in LA and film another video there, because it was just the best scenic vibe ever.
Oh, you shot that in LA?
Shot that in LA, yeah. It wasn't one of my first trips to LA. At that point, I'd been a bunch, but I was very young, and I was still very in awe of the LA scene.
So was that before or during the whole Radio Disney tour was going on, or?
Yeah,
was that kind of how you got the Radio Disney spot, or how did that whole Radio Disney competition kind of come about?
So I had been working in New York, since I was 7 with my agent. So I'd go do commercials and auditions and everything.
You had an agent when you were 7?
Yeah, I started, doing it professionally when I was 7. Yeah, so
oh my goodness.
I took an acting course in the city, and at the end of the course, they had a showcase where agents and managers would come, and an agent saw me at the showcase, signed me, and I started working and doing a bunch of different projects, and then they sent me for an audition with Disney when I was 12, and it kind of all just, the rest was history, and I started working with them, and then I would go to LA all the time, so I started working with Sam as well. So that's kind of how that relationship and that video came to be.
So they just you did this audition, and they were just like, oh, you'd be great for this competition. Because it was, what was the competition called? The Next Star, or the Next Big Thing?
Yeah. So I went into Disney, and it was just, I met with them. I sang them a bunch of my original songs. My mom was sitting in the room. It was very cute. I've been I did this whole TikTok series about Disney recently.
Oh, I saw. We'll get into that. That made me so mad, but we'll get into that.
I know. I feel like I let a lot of people down. That series.
Oh my goodness.
It was quite controversial. So I've been I had to recently like bring up all these memories, so it's so fun to like rehash now. But yeah, I met with them and they like we really connected. I think they liked what I was doing, and I went in like the next day, and then I got this role. This was like a really great opportunity for me because it was not necessarily like a show, but more so like a music centric program, all
Okay.
based on original music, you know? So for me, that totally catapulted my recording artist career because after that program, I started working with different producers and writers and figuring out, you know, what it was like to go into a session and write about my own experiences and knowing that I could like perform them and connect with people after having that experience at Disney, like performing my songs on tours with them, seeing fans really resonate with lyrics I've written, you know, so that kind of really shifted my whole perspective on the writing process. So it was a really unique program and I'm still grateful to it to this day.
So was it like a competition, like an American Idol or a Voice type thing, or did they just have a bunch of you guys that were like these up and comers that they were just like, hey, this is our group and we're gonna take them on tour and kind of develop them type of thing? Like, how did that entire thing go?
Yeah, it was a mix of both
Okay.
because they actually eventually turned it into like just a artist spotlight program for the next
Oh,
seven
cool.
seven years.
Okay.
And they chose five of us and put us on tour. And like for the majority of the program, it was just like getting our music out there, touring us, you know, meeting all new fans. But then there was the competition element to it. But I always say it's like Disney's American Idol, so it's very,
Yeah.
you know, it's a nicer version of all these shows.
Fair. Is that how? I don't know if you know who they are, but there's this like sister duo named Carly and Martina. Is that how they kind of got into the spotlight as well? It must
I don't
be.
know, but Chloe and Hallie, if you know Chloe and Hallie,
I
they
haven't
were
heard of
on my
them.
season with me. So
Okay. I saw you get
they're
really
they're
excited there for a second, then you're like, nope, wrong duo.
well, I know I was like sister too. I was like, yes,
I
and I
was
was like,
like,
no.
oh, I was like, oh, okay. Well, for a second, I got really excited too. I'm like, oh yeah, and then I was like, oh no, wrong duo. Whoops.
No, but
But
it's
no,
been, I mean, the head of Radio Disney then started, you know, changing this program to like featuring artists. So Shawn Mendes was the next big thing. There
oh
have been so
wow,
many other ones, yeah, and it's really amazing. And the crazy thing is Radio Disney has supported me, you know, since I was 13, like till the day they shut down, which was December this year,
yeah, super
December
recent.
2020. So they've been incredible and they just really champion artists and new artists and in a way that I feel not many platforms do. So that's great. Yeah, I have so much love for that like whole chapter. It was so sad when they closed this year. I was like devastated.
I bet that's a huge thing, especially as an artist, and it being being an artist is such an intimate process. With whether it's writers or the company that's developing you, or just like the people that are in your lives. So that must have been super tough when they announced that they were
Yeah.
ceasing
I mean,
operations.
they were a part of my Yeah No release, you know, and they were part of my first release,
Yeah,
my most recent. So they've really been with me like every step of my career. So it was very heartbreaking, but
that's
it'll be
crazy.
okay.
So when you after the next big thing kind of ended, what were you doing like since then? Like from like 2012, 13 to I guess 2019 is when you released like your first like single. Were you just kind of developing your sound, or you wanted to get through school first, or what kind of happened with those kind of years there where you didn't have a lot of original content coming out,
Right.
or
So
at
I
least
basically
music coming out?
like
Sorry.
no, I you're exactly right. Like I was developing during that time. I had signed with new management and I was just like in the studio in LA every school break. But I did want to go to high school, finish high school. I
Okay.
actually then went to college as well for a couple of years. I'm taking some online stuff now too at my school because they're providing online classes, which is great.
Yeah.
Because of COVID, which is, I mean, it's a downside, but they do provide online
Yeah.
now. But anyway, during that time, I was in school and working with different management who got me in with different producers and writers, people who were so incredible and really, you know, just tried to find which direction I wanted to go in. And then once I graduated high school, and then during high school, I also worked on some film projects, which was really, really exciting for me.
Okay.
But once I
And were you
graduated
the
school,
actress, or were you developing the projects?
film projects,
Yeah.
I was in a film called Three Generations, so I starred alongside like Elle Fanning, Susan Sarandon, and it
Oh,
was
that's right. Sorry, for some reason I thought you meant like in the high school.
yeah,
Yeah,
like yeah. I guess that,
I
that
guess
was
while you were in high school. No, no, that's my bad.
no, no, no. I get it. Students are unclear. I'm sorry, but yeah. So then once I graduated high school, I signed with a whole new team, and
Okay.
then developed my project that I released in 2019. And based on that project, I got signed to an imprint of Sony called Red, which is now
Now
merged into
Orchard.
Orchard. So
Yeah.
kind of like the whole trajectory of everything. But
So is that like a full label deal or is that like a distribution deal
yeah,
or
they're a full label. And now
that's
now they've
awesome.
merged with Orchard, which is a distribution company. But
Mm-hmm.
since I was signed to the label arm of it, it's a label. It's my label.
Yeah, I
For,
guess I guess Orchard um, bought out Red or they're just like a one whole
yeah,
company now.
yeah. Now they've merged into
Yeah,
one
they're
ginormous.
gigantic now. Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
insane.
a big place. But
So
yeah, they're great.
when did you sign with Sony and Orchard
Um,
slash Red at the time?
February 2019. So like this is
Okay.
my freshman year of college,
Okay.
and basically I presented the project I'd been working on, from that point, from the Disney days to now, that kind of like fine tuned my sound and everything. And, they fell in love and they needed kind of like a pop girl. They had Max, which is amazing, and
Okay.
a bunch of other artists, but like they really wanted to, make this project see the light. So they were great and a great fit, and they've still been amazing. So
And
yeah,
that's who you released. Yeah, no.
yeah,
Your lead single of your new EP last year,
I
would have been last
know.
March, last March or April.
March 6th. Yeah.
Crazy. Your biggest song yet, over 5.5 million streams on Spotify alone.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I also think it was the first song I made a TikTok to
You did?
last
Stop.
year. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Was this the meat one? Was this
Yeah.
the. I remember it. I have
Oh
a really
my
weird memory,
god.
so
I
don't be
can't
creeped
believe you
out.
remember that.
I literally remember every video or photo made of a song of mine. Like I couldn't imagine not. Like I so appreciate that anyone would
It
ever
was
do that. That's
such
so
a random video. I had no idea what TikTok was. Like, I was super bored. I was like, man, I have nothing to do. There's literally nothing in the grocery store. This song sounds like it'd be perfect with this. And I was like, there's zero groceries. So I was
oh
like,
god.
okay, well the hook will go really well with this. And there was literally just
Honestly,
like
it was super
liver
creative.
and a bunch of random bullshit left in the store. I was like, yeah, no.
I love it. Honestly, that
Oh
was a
my
really great
goodness.
take on it. Take on the trend. So
Oh my
good.
god,
Good
that's
job.
hilarious that you remember it. Where did so kind of coming from the Disney background, where did like this edginess come from that you have kind of portrayed at least in like the Yeah No video?
Thank
Well, a little bit. Well,
you.
especially in the Sad
I feel like
Girl
I'm really
Heaven.
lame. I feel like I'm not edgy, but I appreciate you saying that.
Well, I mean, especially in like the Sad Girl Heaven video and the song. I mean, you go through Disney obviously, and you like have somewhat like family friendly music that's super catchy, and then you just start dropping f bombs. Sad Girl Heaven. I was like, what is going on?
No, I know it was a very big step for me to like, because yeah, no, I don't actually say. I say I don't give up, boy.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
actually say it, and then Sacral Heaven, I do. But I don't know. I felt like as I've gotten older, I maybe grown into to myself a little more and become more confident in saying how I feel and not shying
yeah,
away from being honest. Because I think like not showing that side of me is actually ingenuine. So it's important to embrace who you are, and it still can be family friendly,
for
So
sure. I guess that was a wrong termination
no,
or
no, I get it.
terminology,
I look at
but
like Olivia Rodrigo, and I'm like, she's a Disney girl.
yeah,
She's 17, and she's dropping, cursing in almost every song. And
yeah, especially after the new EP came out too.
yeah.
Yeah, I think she might be 18 now,
Oh, right, my
but
bad. You're right. She's
um, but yeah, the same thing. Like I was just before you like called in or joined the show, I was literally listening to "Good for You," like the songs.
no, screw you.
It's
And she's
like,
like, what else did she say?
like
Does she say the F word? Doesn't she?
it's like, damn, the girls are going off.
I know, and she's young. She's young fans, but the thing I think
Yeah,
people really resonate with her is because she's so honest. Like, and if you're gonna censor your words like that, then it's not going to be authentic. So I think it's actually like, important sometimes if you curse in real life, like then to curse in songs.
Yeah. And I think that's huge now in terms of music, regardless of the label or whatever your brand is, like authenticity is really important.
It's all that matters, honestly.
There obviously there's a line, like depending on your brand and stuff like that. Like you have like the wild cards and like the animals or whatever that are like the party centric or whatever.
Right.
But there's still a line, and authenticity is huge, and people can really tell when you're not being authentic,
Right.
especially
No,
in
and I
music or
think like
acting or social media.
totally. I think that's actually the only thing that really matters because
Hmm.
like people, I listen to music. I've been the biggest. I'm not just a singer. Like I love all music. Like I'm a huge
Yeah,
music fan, and what I love is when artists I look up to, tell their truth and are honest in their experiences, and I can connect with them and feel less alone in whatever I'm going through. So if someone's not being honest, then it kind of like defeats, I feel, the whole purpose of music, which is to like bring everyone together.
for sure.
So, and I
Eh,
realized that with Yeah No. Like I wrote Yeah No after this breakup I'd gone through, and it was like such a intimate song for me, and it's the one that performed the best, I think, out of everything I've ever put out. And every time I perform it, even before I released it, because I actually wrote it a few years ago and I performed it on a
okay.
couple tours. People come up to me after and say, "Oh my god, like I've been there. Those lyrics, like I know what you're going through. Like that's the same thing happened to me. Yada yada yada." Like,
Yeah,
that's such a special thing that like you can only get if you push yourself to be the most open and truthful in music. So
that
all in
song's a
all,
bop too. Like it has a like a deep meaning. Like I've seen other interviews that you did when the song came out, like talking about it and just you talking about it, how like important it was to you and how kind of like you said intimate it was. But then it comes out and it's like just this giant pop like anthem. Like it's just a bop that people just want to dance to all the time. So I was like, this song is crazy good.
thank
Like,
you. Like with Grace, like I that song, I feel like is really what I want to do with like my whole career. Like it's like a mix of
mhm,
being like anthemic but also intimate and vulnerable. So
yeah.
I'm just trying to get one like that again.
For sure. Well, it's funny because like after I heard it, like I was developing this record that I did with Afroman like the last year. I was like, I really want it to be like pop based, but like still have some hip hop element, but be like on the hook, be really really big, like, on the pop side. So
Yeah.
I had to find an artist, and I was like, I heard Yeah I Know, and I was like, okay, basically what it is. Besides like there's not like a hip hop element to it, but like that big pop hook is there. I'm like, okay, that's what I want.
Oh my
So we
gosh,
put
that's so
that into the song. Yeah. So like with my Dance All Night record, I found this artist that sang the hook, and then my producer in LA, Travis Ference, crazy talented producer. He's produced for or engineered for like the Jonas Brothers, Ariana Grande. Like he worked at Capitol Records. He did such a great job just putting this record together. I was like, it's exactly what I wanted. It has like the elements from like your song that I pulled. Like I was like,
you
this is
sent it to me
insane.
after.
Like,
Like I need to hear this. That's
yeah,
amazing. I'm so honored. Like that is so cool.
I love like really big hooks like in these like pop songs that are like anthems and like dance tracks and stuff like that. So yeah, no, really stuck out to me when it was like this just giant hook that just hits you
Oh.
kind of thing. So
Yeah, it's funny because like I noticed, I feel like the music these days that's out is super. I feel like they just shy away from big choruses and like
mhm,
drama, and I love that. Like I love early 2000s pop music, like Justin
yeah.
Timberlake, Britney Spears. Like I shouldn't say their names in the same sentence, but
Oh
I'm
yeah, I forgot about that.
like
No,
putting
it's
them in
all
a
good.
list next to each other. Okay, oh god.
Good
But
examples though. It's all good.
it's all the 2000s, and they all had similar anthemic, I felt like huge pop music, and I love that.
Yeah.
And I think it's so fun and liberating. So I'm really touched that you used my song as a reference because that's just like a really cool thing to me. Wow.
No, it's great, and like you said, a lot of those old school pop songs have there's there's just like this really big dynamic to it, and I
Yeah.
like that's what I miss that from old like pop music. Um,
Right.
like
That's
I
what.
see, I look at artists like Tate McRae. She's from Calgary, from here, like from where
Oh,
I'm from. Um, super talented, But I'm like, I really just want to hear her open up on a song and just have one of these giant hooks. I'm just like, I just want to hear you just
Cool like that. Ooh.
yeah. I'm like, I just want to hear her just go off on a song.
Yeah, we gotta send her some DMs.
Oh
We should.
yeah,
I do love her music though. Like I love the production. It kind of reminds
love
me of
it.
like older One Republic, like Apologize. Like I love
Yeah,
that vibe.
yeah. I really want to hear her just open up, whether it's even just in a live performance, but because there's not a lot of live shows we can do right now. But just have just this one big song that she just hits you because her vocals are crazy.
No, I know. She probably will. She's very young too. So
Yeah, I think she's still 17.
she's still 17, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I think she went to high school like down the road from where I live. I think.
No way.
Yeah, crazy. I
Amazing.
mean, you guys are signed to the same label though, so I feel like you have that insight there. Just like slide in there and be
You know,
like,
it's so
hey,
sad. Like we were right before, COVID. There was a show in end of April in New York. Me, her, and Audrey Mika. You know Audrey Mika.
oh no way.
It was going to be like an MTV huge show in New York City. I was so excited. It was like their push artists, and then COVID happened. So it's quite sad. Yeah, it was very, very sad.
When was that supposed to be?
April 28th,
Of
2020.
last year. Oh no
Yeah.
way. That's oh,
Isn't
that's a
that
tough
crazy?
one.
Like how
That's
different
insane.
life could have. I mean, there's so many ways it could have been different. But
So
that was
well,
something that I was looking forward to that did not come to be.
and that was supposed to be in New York.
In New York, yeah. I forgot which venue,
Crazy.
but I will find that and let you know.
That
It
would
was
be
gonna be really
insane.
crazy.
That's an
Mhm.
insane lineup.
I know.
Because like she had just started blowing up off TikTok or
Mhm.
YouTube or which I think she blew up on both.
Yeah, I don't really remember.
Um, but yeah, she had signed to Sony like last year or the year
Mm.
before or whatever, and then released the song, and then COVID happened. So that's nuts. Like, you guys would have just been on the most insane show ever.
No, I know. In New York City too, so like my hometown.
Yeah.
It would have been wild.
That's
But
nuts. I love New York. I went on tour there twice. It's just promotional tours. I love New
yeah.
York.
Where in New
Um,
York were you when you
I
went?
just went like down to like Manhattan downtown. I
Yeah.
stuck around that area.
Oh,
Um,
so
I have a
good.
buddy from there that you actually went on his podcast as well last year.
Oh.
It was called Long Days, Longer Nights.
Oh yes. Yeah, I remember that podcast.
Jack Goodman was one of my buddies. He used to play for me like in hockey. So I was a scout and an agent for like forever. I still kind of am, but he played for me 2 or 3 years ago. I recruited him from New York to come out to Canada and play, and then
Wow.
the team kind of threw us both under the bus and just destroyed that. But yeah, great guy. It was hilarious when you popped up on his podcast. I was like, no way.
Yeah, that's so funny. I remember that was like one of the first podcasts I'd ever done.
That's
Zoom
hilarious.
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, everything's Zoom nowadays. I guess down there in LA now, it's not as much because like you
Yeah, no,
said,
I've
things
been
are
doing,
opening
it's
up.
been amazing to be here because I've been having like in-person sessions, which have been so great. And it's really just, I feel so much more productive and just create such a better energy in the room, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. I forget if this was on. I guess this might have been when we started recording. But your acting career. So you were in a movie called The After Party.
Yeah.
Which is one of the best movies I've ever seen. Hilarious. But I still can't find you in the movie
Oh yeah. So I played a younger version
of
of
Alicia.
this girl and they show it for a second. They cut
Was
the
it like the
scene.
shower scene where like she's
Yeah,
like
yeah. There was like more to it,
okay.
but it was gone.
I was like,
It was still really an amazing thing to be a part of, though.
for
Honestly,
sure. But
so
I was just
fun.
like, after I saw you on like the cast list, I was like, wait, did I just miss their entire
Like,
part?
you
So I've watched,
on her?
yeah, I've
No.
watched the movie like 8 times. I'm like, I can't. Like,
8
this has got to be
times.
the only part. Like, what is
Wow.
going on?
Yeah, no, that was funny.
So, how did that whole experience, like, or process or opportunity come about? Like, how did you get the part in the after party? Because that movie is just filled with everybody.
Oh,
Like,
it's wild. But I mean, like I was saying, so I signed with my agent when I was 7, and then I'd been auditioning, and then I got Disney at 12, and then
mhm.
just did different projects in the city and like short films. I did Three Generations,
Yeah.
and then I auditioned for this film, and it worked out. So kind of just like you throwing
Crazy.
darts and see what lands is how I describe it.
That's crazy. So, how long were you on set for then? Like if
Uh,
it was, you said there was more to the part. Like
it's like
what?
a few days, I think, something like
Okay.
that, or a week or a few days. A few years ago. When was it? Yeah,
So were there parts that you shot that they didn't end up showing in the final cut then?
the scene they didn't. Yeah, they didn't show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
What was the scene then? Like what
I had it was like a young. I played the young version
of Alicia?
of Alicia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of shows like where the crush came from that he had on her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
but
it
I
was
really didn't look. I don't feel. Do you think I look like her?
um like
Shelley Hennig. I feel like it didn't work out because I really don't
I
look
feel
that
like a
good.
young version you could have if
I
they did
put
your
brown
hair
contacts
correctly.
in for it.
Oh yeah, I guess the eyes are different for sure.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, I
I was
feel like
honored. She was like so cool. I was like, oh, I think I look like
if
her.
you if you curled your hair, then I feel
Hmm.
like that like works as like a younger version. But so
Yeah.
what was that you in like the scene where he like
The
walks
back.
in?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
me.
that was you.
That was me.
That's funny.
Wild. Yeah. It's crazy. Oh, God.
Great experiences, movie sets.
Yeah, no, it's a really amazing industry though. And I while I was in school, like especially college, I had to like make the decision like I need to focus completely on music. Like that was then
Sure.
my priority. Especially once I signed to Red, I was like,
Hmm.
this is a full-time commitment. I even ended
Yeah.
up leaving school a bit my sophomore year because it just got
Okay.
too much to juggle it all. But now that, everything's online for school stuff and music, there's no touring. I'm actually working on getting back to the acting world
Okay.
and just having more opportunities there because I do love it and I think it's such a similar craft to music because when I'm performing, like even when I perform, yeah, no, like I'm not in that space anymore, but
Yeah.
I'm still like using the skills I've learned, from being an actor of like
Sure.
pulling on past experiences and like connecting to them. So I definitely think both um, both industries really go hand in hand. So
So have you
I
finished your degree, or are you still in the process of
still
finishing your
working on
degree,
it.
or
Yeah,
you're still working on it? Cool.
yeah.
I'm the same way. Like I think actually I might have just expired the date that I could have
Oh
gotten my
no.
degree, but yeah, I've technically been in school for like 8 years now. But
Yeah, that's the sunset for school for me. I
yeah,
can't go past 8 years.
yeah, I think I just ruined that entire. Uh,
Oh no, it's okay. At least
I only
plus
have 5 courses
some is
left
better
too.
than nothing.
Well, it's funny that you say that when you were in school that you had to make the decision to, go fully into music. And it was funny because I think it was in my first or second year we had in the city, there was this competition that a radio station called Amp Radio put on. It's like the Amp Radio Rockstar. Anyway, we met this girl that was in the competition that was just around the school, like passing out flyers for the show. And I thought she was a student. So I went up to her, started talking to her. And she was like, "Oh yeah, no, I just do music." And she was like 18 or 19. I'm like, "Oh, that's the same age as me. Like, I should
Wow.
be just doing music." Like,
No,
fuck school. I'm just gonna start doing music. So like ever since like then, I like did like another year and then just lost focus completely of school and just started trying to like pursue music and like all these other different pathways. So I was like,
like
"Oh,
my whole family is super traditional,
yeah,
and I had to like just face that decision and realize that like my school will be there for 100 years. It's been there
yeah,
for 100 years. Like my music career has traction right now, and I want to take advantage of that and ride that wave or while I can. um so I think it's a hard decision, but it's really important. Like if you know what you love and you want to do,
yeah."
you really should go for it. Like life is short.
What were you like enrolled in school?
I was studying communications,
Okay,
which was really interesting because I felt like there were so many parallels with like, you know, getting a message out into the world, which is like what I try to
sure,
do with my music or even through acting, which is like telling stories.
yeah.
Um, but now my advisor is a cinema studies, like is the head of the cinema studies department. He's like, you should be a cinema studies major. Like, please do this. And he keeps telling me, so I'm going to maybe dabble in that on my online excursion this summer. So we will see.
Until you get sent on this giant world tour when things open back up. Then you'll be like,
Exactly.
sorry.
The goal is to get an honorary degree. They invite you to speak at the graduation,
Yeah.
and then you get the honorary degree. That's what I tell my stepdad, and he gets
Yeah.
very mad at me. So
You didn't actually finish the degree, but we're gonna just give you one anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I mean, one of our program directors started calling me an alumni like 4 years ago, so
Oh
he,
my
he
God.
like
Just
knew I
go with
wasn't
it.
gonna
Like,
finish. I was like, sure.
just like Photoshop a degree, put it on your wall. No
Yeah,
one even know.
I was enrolled in one of his classes this past year during COVID, and I went to like four of them, and then he just stopped like tweeting me. He would literally tweet me and be like, "Hey, why aren't you in class?" I'm like, "Why are you
No, he
tweeting me this?"
tweeted you?
Oh,
Stop.
it was hilarious because we had that kind of relationship just because he was like he knows that I'm super involved in music and entertainment and stuff like that. So he kind of knew that I wasn't going to be showing up to class. But at the
Yeah.
same time, like the song came out, and then all of a sudden, like the Rolling Stone article came out about me and stuff like that. So I was like, so he's like, nah, he's not showing up to class. He's like, so should I just email you the homework or?
Wow, that's nice though that you had that relationship with him though, and he was seemed understanding a little bit.
It
I don't
was
know.
funny. He was kind of shocked when I started actually showing up to class because he knows that I haven't gone to a class. I've enrolled in classes the last like 3 years,
Yeah.
but I haven't gone. Um, but yeah,
I
it was kind of funny.
Yeah, when I was back on campus, like right before COVID, so that was my sophomore year, first semester sophomore year, I
Okay.
went on tour like with the boy band, and so it was like October, and I was telling my professor like I'm gonna be out for a few weeks, but like that's only like four classes, and like could I like Skype in or something? He was like really gonna accommodate. He's like, but I need proof that you're really on tour, not just missing classes. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, okay. So like after the show, I would take a photo with the fans
Yeah.
and post it. So I just started sending him all these photos of the
Oh
show
my
after.
gosh.
I like
You with the
emailed my
fans.
professor. She's like, okay, this is sufficient evidence that you're really on tour. I was like, okay, like why would I lie about that? But yeah, here it is.
That's hilarious. Were
It
you
was
able to
quite
get all the work done or like were you just like,
I
screw
did.
it?
I took the
Did you?
exams. I did the work.
No
I
way.
Skyped in. I was like backstage, and I would Skype in with the professor, and he like did a special
Stop.
recording of the class for me. They were really, I do have to say, they were super accommodating, and they still are. Like they're like come back whenever you need to.
Did you do the
Take.
exams while you were on tour?
I took the exams like just later when I got back.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Like
there's no
piled
chance
on
I'd be
exams.
doing an exam while I'm on tour.
I did an exam like then I did after that tour. We had like the Jingle Ball tour, which was the holiday shows.
Yeah.
So I literally came in for like 2 days, took the test, like went back to like a Madison Square Garden, like whole show. It was crazy.
Oh
That
my
was and that
gosh.
was probably the most stressful period of my life. This is like right before COVID, and I was like, I'm just so excited. Like Christmas time, I'm gonna have a week to do nothing. And I hear these recordings that I have like with my vocal coach, and I'm telling him like
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I have this time off, and as I've been doing these vocal exercises like before sessions that I have the past couple weeks, I'm like, wow, if only I would known that I would have like so much time to do nothing. I would
Yeah.
never utter those words. It's crazy,
That's
but
hilarious. I
oh,
would never be able to do schoolwork while I'm on tour. There's no
very
chance.
hard. I'd be like
I
getting my hair and makeup done or something, and like sitting reading like study guides I made.
That's what like brought me back to the fact that you were on tour when you were 12 years old. Like that's nuts. I
Yeah.
like I can barely take care of myself right now, let alone go on a world tour. Like, like,
Yeah.
imagine my mom. If someone wanted to put me on a world tour at 12 years old, my mom would be like, "Do you know who you're talking to? This kid can barely drive down the street without getting car sick. You're not taking him on a world tour. Like, what are you
No,
talking about?"
that's crazy. But I always, that's why I'm so grateful for that program and all that it taught me because it really just taught me how to prioritize my time. You know, I would go run from school, like go to the studio and then just do my work in every free period I had in the library. And like, I really did not mess around. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I think it really like just taught me how to just be disciplined and stuff. Just it was great for me. So I carry that with me. You know, I still use that what I learned now to this day. So
See, like I was the opposite. I wasn't doing music trying to complete school. I was in school trying to do music. So I was like, oh, screw all these classes. I'm just gonna start releasing songs. Released my first song when I was in high school. Just
yeah.
everyone made fun of me.
Oh
Just
no.
the entire school. Hilarious.
Hard about
Because
releasing music in school is because all friends get a little, I don't know, they're competitive, jealous, they might not be supportive.
yeah, it was weird. Like how was it for you like growing up like being so young, being into music? Like were you ever bullied or made fun of because you were kind of that one like odd person out that was this almost superstar on the side type of thing?
No, yeah, I definitely noticed, especially like during the Disney program, like a lot of my friends were not supportive of it and very upset about it. My teachers at school were really weird about it. I
Okay.
didn't really miss any school. I made sure to like I would go on morning shows and perform and like have interviews, and I'd come to school like right after
No
the show.
way.
Like I did not miss, and the teachers were very it was really disappointing. They were really not supportive of the program, of me, pursuing this.
Wow.
They even wanted me to like not do it at a certain point. The music teacher who like taught me how to read music and everything paid no interest to it. And
The music teacher
yeah, the
even.
music teacher, which was real, that was very like heartbreaking, and I still feel sad about that. But yeah, it was crazy. That was tough, but I'm
Were
so
you in
grateful.
a public school or were you in a private school or?
I was in a very small school in the city, like 30
Okay.
kids in a grade, which was even
Oh
that's like why
wow.
it was even worse, because it's like we were so close and we grew up with these people.
And this was in New York.
Yeah, in New York City.
There's a school in New York City that has 30 people in a grad class.
I know, yeah, it was wild.
There were like 250 or 300 in mine, and I lived in like this shit tiny little town in like BC.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts. We had
Yeah.
we had two campuses though. It was weird.
Mhm. Oh, for like
But
middle school, like different campuses for the
no, it
different.
was it was all 9 to 12, like grade 9
Mhm.
to 12. But like we had two different campuses just because there were so many students.
Yeah.
So they switched. Like the one campus would be grade nines would stay at that campus, and the other one, our like senior class, would stay at that. But in the middle, like tens and twelves would travel in between. Some people had to travel like midday to at like lunchtime to go to the other campus to go to their class. It
That's
was
so
such yeah, it was
bizarre.
such a weird setup. So
Yeah.
weird.
So funny because like New York, it's like I went to school, it was like a building. Like it was you don't have any greenery.
Yeah,
Like
I
it's
guess so. That's
yeah, they
insane.
used to say like my high school where I went, which was a little bit bigger than where I went to school, with the 30 person per grade.
Okay.
They used to call it like a prison 'cause there was no windows. It was an intense building. They finally redid it, so I think it looks a little different now. But yeah, I would have loved to go to school, small town, have fields, campus, a whole campus. That'd be fun.
I mean, I say campus lightly. Like we had like a soccer field or like a football field in each. I mean, we have football in Canada, but it's not nearly what football is in the U.S.
Yeah.
Definitely more of a hockey town for sure. Like our hockey arena was crazy.
Right.
Um, but so we kind of talked about earlier. We mentioned these names like Olivia Rodrigo and Tate McRae. It seems like in the last year or two, really like women have taken over the music industry or the entertainment industry. Um, like we said, Billie Eilish is blown up in the last few years. Tate McRae, Olivia Rodrigo, Cardi, Nicki Minaj is back. You came out with your biggest single. Like, what do you think is the future for like women in this industry now that you've basically taken over? every giant song has either a female as the main artist or as a feature artist on the hook, or what do you
Yeah.
really
No,
think the future is right now?
time has gone on. I think, women's voices have just become so much more important. And maybe it's also that we also feel more empowered and, um, like our voice matters even more. So I hope to see more amazing female artists coming to be. I mean, there's even a longer list to that, like Griff.
Oh, for
Taylor
sure.
Swift talks about all these, the new wave
Oh,
of
let's not
female
get me
artists.
started on Taylor Swift.
Are you a big Swiftie?
No,
No?
no.
How? I was literally
Uh,
thinking, I was in bed last night and I was just thinking about something I was going through, and I kept singing this song. And I was like, oh my God, these lyrics to this song. It was like the lyrics, like I
yeah.
literally was going through it. And I was like, Taylor Swift wrote it. Taylor Swift wrote that song. I was like, of course she did. She is just knows how to articulate like every emotion possible and does
Yeah,
it so beautifully, and like it has an amazing melody. She's so great. You
for
can't be
sure.
a Swift
No,
hater.
no, no, no. I love her as an artist and as a musician. Like you can't deny that she's one of the most talented. I don't know what's going on right now. Oh, okay. I heard some weird random sound in my microphone. Anyway, we're good. I there's no denying that Taylor Swift is one of the most talented artists of all time, like songwriters, musicians, everything. I just
Yeah.
think outside of that, she just whines so much.
No, she does not.
So much.
I so
Yes.
disagree. She's really
Like,
incredible.
well, like you look at it over the last few years, she's, she doesn't need to stay relevant by, talking about Kanye or Scooter or Scott. And it's like she just keeps going at these guys. And it's like, okay, well, I know her old manager, like her manager for her first two albums, Rick Barker. Like, why aren't you blaming him for the fact that you got into a bad deal? He was your manager. But instead you're blaming Kanye, you're blaming Scooter, Scott. Like, you're blaming the label when you should be blaming your manager. I mean, obviously you're 15, so you can't blame yourself. But, like...
But you know what I think it is? Like, we were talking about earlier, like writing about what you're going through and what
Sure.
makes you feel any type of emotion is what's going to connect with others and what's going to connect, make you
Yeah.
feel your art. So I think for her, I couldn't imagine what she's going through. These public, I mean, everything that she's been through is so intense, and
For sure.
music is such an outlet for her. And
I don't mean like whining in her music. I mean just like publicly, like on social media and stuff. Like she will like use like Kanye or Scooter to promote an album, and then all of a sudden she's the number one album. Like, Taylor, did you really need to talk shit about Kanye again to sell your album? No.
I don't know. I'm
Is it hilarious? Yes, but like.
I disagree. So I don't think she's whining. I think, you know what? She has a platform and she can speak her truth, and good for her that
sure.
she does, and defends herself. And like everyone's gonna do it to, like, everyone else is talking. She should stick up for herself too.
For sure. No, I agree. I'm just like, though, I
But I'm like, you know what? Taylor, I will defend you.
I love Taylor. I think she's one of the most one of the most talented artists of all time. I've just like I don't quite agree with how she's gone about it in the media at some points. Obviously, her music again is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I'm glad she's able to release her old albums under her own label or her new, like, I think she's with Columbia now. So I'm glad that she's able to still, re-release her new music. But the stuff on social media was like, do you really need to do it, Taylor?
I don't know. Social media is such a crazy place. I just try to focus on the
and
music.
then I look at the other side, like, do a lot of people on social media need to be doing what they're doing? Like, if you look at TikTok's a giant mess. Like,
I know. Don't even get me started on TikTok.
Oh yeah, we were gonna start about that. So you made me mad on TikTok.
I did.
With your entire Disney. I know you have to go here soon. Are you cool to stay for like another couple minutes?
Yeah, a couple few more minutes is great.
All right, cool. So the Disney little compilation or series, whatever you want to call it, on TikTok, where you're like, I'm gonna tell you what it was really like to view a Disney.
That was your interpretation of an expose. Like, I was just saying the truth about Disney Channel. I didn't say I was gonna make it.
Oh, you knew what people were gonna think.
You know what? I'm not responsible for everyone else's assumptions.
15 million views later. 5 episodes in.
If you want to be entertained, like, just scroll through the comments. They're hysterical.
Oh, I don't need to scroll through. I commented. I was like, this girl just chiseling the Disney name. She had less followers than me a day ago, and now all of a sudden she like skyrocketed on top of TikTok. I was so mad, especially when the final episode came out, and you're just like, yeah, so I love Disney. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean you love Disney?
I do. I mean, the plot twist of the century was that, they were amazing. And the truth about them is that they literally were my family. When I told you, like, my middle school, like, those people really deserted me, I felt. So
Yeah.
I think it was a really sentimental series, and I'm sorry you don't see it like that.
I agree with you. I just think, you knew exactly what you're doing when you marketed that fucking series.
I had no idea it was going to go that viral.
Probably not.
And it was
probably
crazy.
Didn't know it was going to go that viral, but you knew with that headline what people were going to think.
I really didn't know. I thought it was like the truth about Disney Channel.
You're full of it.
Experience. I thought like, oh, the truth. The truth is like, this is what happened. This is what we did. Like, ooh, all these like really fun facts. But no, everyone wanted some like juicy, like horrible thing that they did to me. I'm like, I don't know what you guys want from me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And they're not gonna
Whatever you,
believe me.
whatever you say.
Oh God,
We
but
got
TikTok.
we got all these people coming out on Nickelodeon like, oh, they treat me like shit, and then Elle
I
Winter's over here like, I love Disney. 5 episodes later.
know.
Oh my god.
It's just like also like the most me thing. Like when everyone else is negative about something that I would do,
was so mad. I was like,
very
come
on brand.
on. I was waiting. I was like, oh, she's going to expose him in the next one. I know it. And then you're like, this is the final one. And I love Disney. It's like,
Oh God! Wow, it's really interesting to like hear someone else's reaction to it because I'm just sitting in my room like, oh cool, that was great.
I know because I do like the same thing with some TikToks. Like you'll put something out there, you don't know it's going to blow up or people are going to take it the wrong way. And then all of a sudden I'm getting shit on in an hour. I'm like, what happened?
TikTok's like a really crazy place. Like they're aggressive people and like mean comments. Like it's a
So
very
aggressive.
it's very intense. Like I think it's hilarious. Like my sister and I look at the comments together and we die laughing, but it's hard. Like if
Yeah,
you're not I've also been putting myself out there since I was 12 doing videos with Sam. Like
sure.
that those got millions and millions of views.
Yeah,
I I'm like used to comments and things like that. Like I don't take them to heart in such a way, but it's TikTok has given so many people who have no experience in that type of exposure
yeah.
a huge platform, and like I can't imagine reading some of those comments if I was like not prepared, for for that. So I think it's a really toxic environment a bit.
For sure. And like my TikTok, like I don't really focus a lot on my music side. I focus more on like just like letting people see my personality type of
Yeah.
thing. Like whether it's like comedy, like my Zach Boychuk, our co-host, he calls me like somewhat of a wild card. He's like, that's like just who you are. Like you never really know what's gonna happen, and like it's true. Like I'm very an outspoken person. Like I'll just spew things without thinking about it sometimes, and it'll get me in trouble, especially on TikTok. But I also think like there's a spot on like TikTok and platforms for that where people can just like speak their mind and like they're gonna get hate on it. But if you're gonna talk, you may as well like be ready for what's gonna come if you offend someone, especially in like the cancel culture that is like nowadays or whatever. And TikTok's so weird with the algorithm. A random video can just blow up, even though you didn't even think it was gonna be anything.
No,
Like I,
that's crazy about it. It's like anyone. It's like a level playing field, So
yeah,
anyone can.
I was sitting on a patio one day with my buddy, and there was like a group of girls in front of the bar, and they were like laughing or whatever. And this one girl was just like, "Oh, like something about we heard." If I had like I have enough followers, this would matter. So we thought she was talking about the bar. So like filmed there, put on TikTok, all of a sudden it's got like hundreds of thousands of views overnight.
Oh,
This girl reaches out to me. She's like, hey, that is not the context of what I was saying. I was like, oh. All of a sudden there's like 20 different girls shit talking me in my comments, my
yeah.
DMs. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. So this girl reaches out to me. She like messaged me. She's like, hey, so our conversation was about this photographer that I had worked with in the past that had like been sexually harassing and assaulting like girls that he worked with. And I was like, oh, now I look like an asshole. So like, and like that thing is like super, super like way super strong because I have a very like strong opinion or like stand towards like that type of thing because it's super not okay and nothing like that should ever happen to anyone that's in our industry, especially, when you're trusting someone that's whether they're a photographer or a director or a producer or you should be able to, trust them and be able to be in the same room with them without them having to do something stupid. So I was like, okay, well, here's what we can do. I either take down the video or I can post like a response to it and like try to help you like create like a,
Awareness. Yeah.
awareness for like this. Yeah, exactly. Awareness for this photographer, director, or whatever he was. So we did that, and then the video just kept growing and growing and growing, and now it's at like 1.2 million views.
Oh, did you ever make a follow-up video?
Sorry, yeah, we made the follow-up video like the next day. but it did not gain the same traction. So like there's still like people that are like talking like shit to like her or like about it, and then people still like talking shit to me. I'm like, I can't win with this one.
It's so crazy about social media. It's like you see one little piece of a story of someone.
Yeah,
Like you post that and it actually nothing is really what it seems online. So I think that's
for
such an
sure.
important example of that. Like I think we all get caught up in looking at what everyone's doing and posting, and it's very
Yeah,
it's very tough to like see that and compare, but you really
for
never know
sure.
what the truth is. So
And it's
that's
like it's weird being some of the people that are like involved in a situation, because you see on the internet, especially on TikTok, all the time. Like you get those like videos that recorded random people that go viral or whatever. And you never get to see like the inside scoop.
yeah,
So
I
it was
never
weird.
know. Like, I was always wondering, like, do they find these videos? Like,
Yeah,
do they viral?
I
Like,
never thought it would go to millions or hundreds of thousands of views, especially overnight. I was like, oh no, this is the one that goes big. But no, it was crazy. Like if I was in the position that she was in, I'd, depending on, obviously like what their conversation was about. But like if I was a person that was being the centerfold of like a viral TikTok, I'd be like eating that up, because that's just my personality. I'd be
yeah.
like, yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm just gonna go with it. It probably goes in my brand.
Mm,
I'm just an idiot. Like I'll just make it go with some sort of campaign.
yeah.
But
Oh, God, it's a crazy, crazy world we live in.
for sure. Um, Thank you for coming on so much. I think that's all we have. We kind of went past your time limit, but
All right, so much fun talking to you, and thank you for being, around all these years. I really, really appreciate it, and being such like a loyal and invested supporter. That's really cool, and I'm literally still so touched to use "Yeah No" as a reference. So
yeah, I'll send you the record. And again, like, yeah, thank you for so much for coming on the show and taking time out of your day. Like I said, I'm a big fan, so
mm,
I was super excited to have you on. And real quick before we go, last question. This one's just a random one, since your last couple songs are love songs and all. We're like we said, we're '90s babies. So growing up, who was your biggest celebrity crush?
ooh, my
Because like
biggest.
I know mine, and it was like Victoria Justice from like the Zoe 101 days. Like growing up
Oh,
with Victoria Justice is
that's,
definitely my
yeah.
celebrity crush.
Ooh, I'm trying to think. Mine growing up, I liked like Zach and Cody. I was in love with them.
Are you still like both of them?
No, no, I'm
Okay,
not still into them.
okay. What about now? Like going
Yeah,
into now, is there one that kind of has carried over all your life? Because
yeah,
Victoria's like
I
still
would
the love of
die
my
for
life.
Zayn Malik to this day. Yeah, I love Zayn
Really
Malik. Yeah. When I was younger, I
interesting.
had clip-on nails, like with his face on them.
Stop it.
Yeah, but I love Gigi Hadid, so like I support them.
Fair. I mean, I used to have posters of Miley Cyrus on my wall, so
Oh God, I
we're
still have
all
a poster
good.
of Miley Cyrus on my wall in New York City, not in this department, but I have
No way.
literally a poster of her. Yeah, my room is like a time capsule.
That's
You go in, it's like,
hilarious.
whoa, is she 9 or is she 22?
I remember these roommates that I lived with. It was back when I first moved back to Calgary. I was living with a family friend, and I came home and just my entire walls were life-size One Direction posters. There was like Zayn, Harry,
I
Leo. I
want
was like,
one.
what is going on?
Oh God, I need that.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was great. Um, but yeah, thank you so much. I'll let you get to your call. Again, been a big fan for so many years, and thank you so much for coming on. Hopefully, we can have you again on sometime when Zach comes back to the show and when things come. I mean, when you release your next single or album, what is next for you? Is there anything you want to promote that's coming up or tease or?
I'm actually releasing a new song in a month or so, so I'm super excited about that, and I will
Perfect.
keep you posted. But we're working on finishing, a music video right now, so it's
Can you
all
give
very.
us a name?
I can't give you a name just yet.
Damn. I was hoping for the exclusive.
I know. I'm so sorry. You can literally get me to talk about anything, but I'm gonna be good about this. I literally know it's bad. God knows what I've said today. I just
It's okay. I'll send you the audio so you can review it before it gets put out. Don't worry. I don't think we've gone off the rails in like that much, so it's all good.
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for everything again over the years. It means so much to me.
Thank you again. Appreciate you coming on, and have a great rest of your day.
You too, stay safe and healthy.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.